Hello everyone, welcome back to Collection Pack. And today we're going to go over the oldest gaming library I have. And not in terms of how long I owned them, but how long of how old these games are. I have a bunch, well, I guess a decent amount of 2600 games. And unfortunately, I do not own a 2600 yet, but that's in the works. I want to build up a decent library of 2600 games before I buy a 2600. Starting off, we got Adventure. Adventure. Now, I had this on a plug and play, a 2600 controller, which somewhere in this room, if I find it, oh, we'll show in the future video. But I remember playing this as a kid, and I always did like the first difficulty because it was the easiest. 2 and 3, I always end up getting eaten by the duck or I guess they're supposed to be dragons, but they look like ducks. Nevertheless, I enjoyed it. Another game I have that I believe was on that 2600 plug and play, Asteroids. And I used to play this a lot as a kid. I don't know. I guess it was primitive for even when I was a kid, but I don't know. It was a good start, or to play simple games. Next, we got Breakout, which, if I remember correctly, wasn't Breakout that game apparently Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak worked on? I think this is the game. Either that or Super Breakout or something. I can't remember, but I mean, that's what's cool about Atari. You never know, what some future force in the tech or video game industry were doing before. Next, we got Donkey Kong, which is, for example, a case where Nintendo, before they were famous with the NES, they're just they're having someone publish their games in North America. And that somebody was then rival of Atari Coleco, which is so messed up. But I mean, apparently this was made just to angered the people at Atari because they deliberately make a bad port of Donkey Kong just to be like, hey, everybody, look, the Coleco is so good, man. Back when console wars were meaningful. Next we got E.T. Extraterrestrial, or The Extraterrestrial. I can't speak English sometimes. Now, this game had been blamed for the whole North American gaming industry crash. But, I don't know. I tried it on an emulator. I have no interest in it. But if I actually get a 2600, like I kind of want to do, this might be the first game I try with it. But instead, I'll just plug in a Sega Genesis controller. See if that will do anything. I don't know. What's interesting is this is the only movie-based video game I own for the 2600. I think there's some Star Wars games. There are some, I think a James Bond game somewhere. And there's an Indiana Jones one. But yeah. Anyways, next we got Missile Command, which I kind of like I really do like the box art. Well, the cartridge art, I should say. It kind of makes you feel like you're about to play something legendary. And I used to play Missile Command as a kid. But I guess the arcade is supposed to be better than the 2600 version, so who knows. Just going to move some cards over. Next we got Pac-Man. Now, everyone knows Pac-Man. I mean, I dare anyone to say in the comments, what's Pac-Man? I never heard of Pac-Man. Because I hardly doubt any casual or hardcore gamer never heard of Pac-Man. But apparently this is also one of the reasons why the whole North American industry crashed. But I had no comments on this because I never really tried it. Not really even on an emulator. Next we got Space Invaders, which another game that probably it just doesn't need an introduction. Let's see if Microsoft buys Toto. I don't know. They would, I guess. I don't know why. But yeah, this was a popular game then, I guess even now, because it still sells. Next we got Super Breakout. And I don't know. It's Breakout. I don't know. I'm not able to give a proper opinion on these games because, one, I never really played Atari. I only collect Atari right now. Next, we got Sword Quest Earthworld, which I kind of bought because as I was watching the Gaming Historian and Angry Video Game Nerd or the video on the whole Sword Quest contest. Now, the contest ended for most of these before or during the crash at the North American gaming market. So we never got Airworld. But if I remember correctly, there's some alleged prototypes of Airworld. But we got Waterworld, which I think was the rare one, and Fireworld. I would, if not for anything else, like to own Fireworld and Waterworld just so I could it just would be a discussion piece for me. And then the last two games I owned for the 2600, or V.C.S. as it was originally called, the official Carnival by Sega, which I never heard of before I bought it. I really only got it because it was another Coleco release for the 2600. It's kind of weird. And now with Sony having to potentially port every Major League Baseball the show onto Xbox every year now, and Microsoft having to uphold previous agreements with Bethesda and Activision Blizzard, company rivals having to port their games to the rival platform. It's pretty interesting. Weird, but interesting. And last we got Yard's Revenge, which is another game I had on the 2600 plug and play. And I don't know. I never really understand what I was doing, but it was fun playing. Anyways, that was my 20, and that was my Atari 2600 collection. Let me know if there's a game that I probably should have added to the collection. I'm having trouble thinking of another one other than Pitfall and Water and Fireworld. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of video games and other stuff on this channel. See ya.